Hey guys, it's daytime. So the video that you're about to watch is from a deleted podcast episode. So this episode came out around, I want to say, between episode 1 of chapter 2 and chapter 2 of episode 2. The episodes of chapter 2 were so spread out. So at one point when I started feeling changed, that's when I stopped doing the episode for What Did They Say. Hence why this one was called 2.5, because with that change, I was feeling like, okay, this video is probably going to be inappropriate. I'm probably going to take it down in the future. So I'm going to call this episode 2.5. I base my dating around how I felt about one person and what I now look forward to, knowing my worth and knowing what I deserve, that I don't just deserve any type of guy. I deserve a guy like what you're about to see me describe. By the way, this video does contain explicit language. I was really bad about that back then, so sorry about that.
Moving on. Okay, so number 2. Have you ever been jealous? And has it ruined something good you've had with someone, whether, it was like something low-key, high-key, friends, dating? Has it ruined anything for you?
No, I've never been jealous. I make people jealous.
Oh my God. I'm not the jealous type. And to be honest, the only thing I've ever been jealous of are people who know how to save money. Those are the only people I've ever been jealous of. And there was this one time I used to work at a place called Carter's back in Brazelton, Georgia. And there was this guy, and I was in love. I was in love. No lie. I have fat crushes on people. But no, this man, I was in fucking love. I have never been in love. I'm going to tell you why I was in love with him. First of all, we're going to call the guy Brandon, which is very close to his name. First of all, not only was this man is this man physically so fucking beautiful, and he's everything I want, beautiful face, beautiful smile. But y'all, the reason why I fell in love with him is because I was so fucking wrong about him. His mind and his personality, oh my, that's the type of man I want so bad. This is why I was in love with him, because he was everything. He was everything that I've wanted in a man. He is such a good person. He has such a good heart, a good personality. He talks about he was telling me his there is just so much. So the fact that I was so wrong about him was the reason why I fell in love with this man, because he was not your typical dude. He was not your typical every bitch you see type of. So I remember I ended up talking to this girl. We're going to call her. So at this job, all I wore was jogging pants and my ass was poking. If a saw me, that it's over for these, because this is going to be mine. He might not say nothing. He might even act like he has a problem with me, because closet act like they have a problem with me to cover up the fact that they actually want me. And so, I'm talking to Ree, we're already decent friends, Ree was sitting with my other group of friends. I was friends with all the pretty back then. That's all I have is pretty. She was talking with the group of friends who I was friends. So I was like, oh great, all my friends at the table, because I had to go back to my station and they were on their break for lunch. So I was headed back and they were going on theirs, and they were already at this table. And I go up to them and I was like, hey y'all, hey. And then they was like, oh hey boo, hey Thickums, because that was my name. They would call me Thickum because I used to turn heads. Girls used to lie on me, say it was fake. It's not fake, it's very much real. I went up to the table and I was like, after I said hey, I saw that what they're looking at. I was like, oh, I pointed to Rand. I was like, oh, that's my man. And Ree goes, she starts smiling and laughing. I'm like, no, that's my man. So this is when I found out that Brandon and Ree have been talking to date. Yeah, Brandon and Ree have been talking this whole time while I'm talking to them separately, not knowing that they were talking to be together. Now, I used to talk to them, because they were cool, individually, just it's like a slick chance type. I'm friends with this person. I'm even better friends with this person. And the girl was like, no, that's my man. But she wasn't even being petty. She was being genuine. And then I walk off not knowing that she was for real. I was like, aha, anyways. So I go back to my station. Come to find out that Ree had told Brandon what I said at the table. And he's walking toward the bathroom. I'm walking back to my department all the way in the fucking back of this big building. And he goes, Ree told me what you said about me. And I start blushing so hard. He goes, don't be shy now. I didn't know that she was dead ass. I thought she just thought he was cute too. So after that, you know, everything is fine. Everything is very normal. They end up getting together, which is not actually when I got jealous. I got jealous a little bit later. There was another time when I was walking to another department that I had to work in because they moved me from my department receiving. And he was walking with his friends. There's just so many times where I ran into this man. Wow, this is torture. I couldn't have him one way, and I definitely couldn't have him the other, even though I do turn heads. So there was a possibility. I want to say, I'm not trying to put this on them, but I don't know if it was the fact that when I was talking to them, walking to their department, that there was literally a guy walking behind me, staring at me and licking his lips, and they were both looking at me, cutting their eyes to him, because I don't expect to be so bold in front of other people when it comes to doing low-key gay shit. But there's this dude I ain't never seen before. He was kind of cute too. As the Brandon and Ree are a couple now walking together, and I'm behind them trying to talk to them. I guess that's why it was kind of weird. Why it seemed like, okay, so why they're being kind of weird to me. I'm not even explaining all of the times where before, like when they were talking, how we were going for Brandon. We would be like, me and her would be like standing together trying to get his attention, just smiling, and we will go up to him together and talk to him. Like we were like, it was like we were like good friends. Like we were not like the best friends, you know, but we were like decent, like good, you know, cordial, good friends. And they're seeing him, the guy that I want, and the girl that I'm really good friends with. I'm really good friends with both of them. Like I said, it's just like watching this guy look at me and the guy behind me who's licking his lips, looking at my ass, and looking at his other friend who's sitting down at these chairs. He was also looking at me, and it's just causing like a bunch of, not like bash, but it was like it made the vibe between me and them weird. I follow him on Instagram. He followed me back. I had the time to follow me back. The second time I unfollowed him because of what I was posting on Instagram, and I felt really bad because I had both of them on my account. So at this time, I was posting a lot of raunchy posts. And I felt like it just looked bad to have him on there with me posting all these videos and twerking videos. So I removed him because I felt like that was a bit much. And I was already doing that stuff before, but just not as much. And I just felt like it looked so bad to her. So yeah, I ended up removing him because it just looked so bad on my part to be doing that stuff, knowing that they're in a relationship and knowing that she knows that I like him, and they're both following me on Instagram, and I'm just posting stuff like this. Like I removed him. I did. Instead of just simply not posting that, I would rather continue doing me and myself at the time, which was really weird. I would rather continue doing what I wanted to do, so I did remove him. And then I remember when I stopped posting stuff like that and I tried to follow him back, and he didn't follow me back at the time. I even told him about it in his DMs when we were talking about other shit. Like we would play Call of Duty together. He would be my like quiz scoping because I'm very in the game, and because we were talking about something else, it was a perfect time for him to like gloss over that and act like he didn't see it. I don't know if he just genuinely didn't see it or he didn't want to follow me back, and either way I couldn't blame him. So you know, I followed him for maybe like a week or two after that, and I've always been the type of, it was just no shade to him, but I've always been the type of like, if you don't follow me back, I'm not gonna follow you back. And we just stopped talking. And then I think when I was working at Amazon in Brazelton, right before I moved, I worked at Amazon in Jefferson, Georgia, a few months after Brazelton. And I swear on my last month, I swear I saw her there a little bit after me. But all I remember is thinking that I saw her at Amazon, and she just like did this little smirk at me, and I look at her, and like she was already turned around walking the other way. And she keeps walking. She looked just like her. I'm not sure if that was her. And then another guy who was a part of the guys group, I saw him at Amazon too. I didn't really talk to him. Brandon, I wanted everything. Like I wanted his vibe on me. I wanted him all over me. Like, whew, but we did not end up on a bad note. It was just like it was just kind of like that's it. I sought the guy a while ago. What do you expect? I was in love with this man. Like he could say, "Day, I want you," and I would run head first into this man's chest.
So the reason why I wanted to include this into the episodes is so you guys know how I've changed and how I think now. So back then I was basically interested in a lot of men at the time, but I'm glad I got to experience one that I genuinely can see now would have been a guy that I should be only looking for now. This is all I look forward to now, is finding a man like him or better, meaning rich mindset, down to earth, charming, you know, somebody who I genuinely feel would do me right, who's right for me. I don't just settle for anybody anymore. I don't even chase nobody at this point. I know who I deserve, and I deserve somebody like. Now I can see I wouldn't have been good enough for him. I would not have been good enough for him. And I'm so glad that I changed, because now I feel like I actually deserve somebody like him.
Let go of everything.